Well, good afternoon, judges, organizers, entrepreneurs. Thank you very much for inviting us here today. We're super excited to share with you what we have. Supporting me, as always, my two colleagues, Rashid and Omnia, who manage our solution as well as our infrastructure and integration. Myself, my name is Cameron Collins. I'm the founder and CEO of Workfam. So let's kick this off. Now more than ever, we're seeing that employee engagement, employee well-being, and employee happiness are significant areas of focus, right? As companies globally start to begin to adopt work from home policies, they're turning to HR solutions and tools to help them not only motivate, but retain their employees. But what we're seeing is that employees are actually struggling to integrate and feel that sense of belonging as corporate culture begins to fade. And as a result, the company suffers from a disengaged workforce. So what we're proposing is Workfam. We're a gamified employee engagement solution that helps companies create a happier, healthier, and highly engaged workforce, or as we like to call it, Workfam. We secure the best possible corporate discounts in the wellness space, so acting as an extended kind of arm of your HR department. And we encourage and enable employees to kind of break down those work silos and drive cross-segment collaboration through mutual interests. So we've secured 70 corporate wellness partners across 6 different categories, generating more than 200 plus corporate wellness discounts. And if you're an admin, you can kind of encourage healthy internal competition by rewarding your organization, or rather your employees, with points and badges, recognizing the leaders of specific tribes, and allowing them to redeem their work points for wellness initiatives. You can celebrate micro moments like Eid, or a new hire, or an employee work anniversary via push notification. And you can select or customize from our templates of pulse surveys. You can assign owners, select an audience, and then schedule and automate their distribution. So in December 2019, we actually landed our first customer, which is Majd Al Futtaim. For those of you guys that don't know, Majd Al Futtaim is one of the largest enterprises here in the GCC that employ over 42,000 employees. This particular client required a fully integrated and customized solution, so we embedded our services into their existing employee engagement application called My Wellness. The traction for the last year in Q1, they consumed 100% of their base license, and they actually purchased an additional 500 user licenses. In Q3, obviously, we've set a bit of a recovery plan for COVID-19, and we launched an online virtual wellness week. We're forecasted to close another 500 user licenses. In Q4, we're going to focus a lot on internal awareness, really promoting our solution internally to drive active usage and adoption. Workfam is an enterprise SaaS solution, which means that we have a subscription-based pricing model. And each customer is required to purchase a base license fee. So what that means is, regardless of consumption, we expect to kind of generate revenue from that base license. Obviously, additional license bundles can be purchased, as well as we monetize through integration and customization services. So when looking at the GCC market, we noticed that actually the UAE is having a negative impact on the overall employee engagement results for the GCC. 85% of the UAE workforce is actually actively disengaged, which means that of these 6.4 million workers, 5.4 are pretty unhappy at work. But this is not to say that they're not a progressive market. The Ministry of Happiness and Wellbeing has actually elected 130 chief happiness and positivity officers across both federal and government entities to address this issue. They also have the National Program for Happiness and Wellbeing, as well as Smart Dubai's Happiness Agenda. Now, a competitive landscape.
Cameron, sorry, time is over.
Oh.
Okay. Any questions, dear judges?
Well, I'd like to understand, out of those 5.4 million workforce that you've calculated in the UAE, a lot of them are not white-collared workforce. They are blue-collared workforce. So is there really a need for this solution, and have you done any sort of concept testing versus, because most of the HR solutions are, let's say, on SAP, SuccessFactors, or other platforms, but then is there really a need for this, and is there a correlation between the disengagement that you're trying to sort of sell, because yeah.
Thank you, Rahul. Yeah, to answer your question, I mean, a good chunk of Majd Al Futtaim's employee base is actually these blue-collar workers. I mean, their retail business consumes, I would say, about 70% of their employee base. They're potentially looking at like a very affordable experiences that employees can connect organically outside the office. So things like, if I had to give an example in Dubai, things like Safa Park, where there's a 5 dirham admission fee. There's also venues, public venues like Kite Beach and running tracks that can be publicly accessible for these types of blue-collar workers. The whole idea behind the application is to really allow employees to connect organically outside the organization in order for them to be able to share best practices and establish stronger, more trusted relationships across departments. And if we look at these blue-collar workers, we're actually seeing massive high levels of turnover. So it's quite a focus for a company like Majlis Al-Futtaim.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes. Yes.
Yes, please.
How do you align to the current flow of World Health Organization, e-health organizations regarding this topic? Because there's a lot happening and being launched at this moment. How do you connect to them? And I see a lack in the team. Really, someone with high HR background and also physical background and psychological background.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, with regards to HR experience, we have one of our mentors, Claire Peterson, who's the talent manager for Forward Middle East and Africa. You know, personally, I was in Microsoft prior to starting up Workfam in their marketing and operations department, and I took, I guess, my learnings as a disengaged employee. And thought, you know, you guys are often talking about, you know, the importance of sharing best practices, breaking down work silos, driving cross-segment collaboration. And then during my time at Instituto de Empresa, which is in Madrid, we actually formulated this business idea with a variety of different professional backgrounds, from consultants to lawyers to HR professionals. So the idea was formulated during an entrepreneurial course in IE. So a lot of the ideas are stemmed from those professionals. With regards to kind of aligning ourselves with these global organizations, what we've rather done is actually focused on aligning ourselves with local kind of initiatives, which is the Ministry of Happiness, the National Program for Happiness and Wellbeing, as well as Smart Dubai's Happiness Agenda. And they have 4 pillars in which they pride themselves on, and they have a framework to address kind of happiness in the workforce. And what we've done is we've customized rather or tailored and designed and developed our solution around their suggested framework. Should we start to expand beyond the UAE and into the GCC and obviously past the GCC, I think we'll start to further align ourselves with global organizations and initiatives.
Thank you.